Alright, let's see if he'll play me again. Okay. Oh, this is good. I like this. I'm not gonna just exchange when I have 24 points. I didn't like getting rid of all three of the ends. I wanted to keep one of them, but it turns out that I I got another N. I mean, I'm up 68-0 at the start of the game. I would be very surprised if I lost this game. Yeah, Anand is a good player for me to farm Woogle's rating points from, because it's just so often that he plays phony words because he gets them confused. But even with him doing that, sometimes I have to be careful because sometimes he plays advanced words that I just forgot are valid in NWL, and I'll challenge and lose the turn. So I have to be a little bit careful when he plays longer words that I'm unsure of. I think I just play EX. Play Ween. Oh, actually, maybe saving the X isn't bad here because Ween is just a lot of points. Yeah, I like this better. The X is a tile that you usually like to get later in the game rather than the beginning of the game, because at the beginning of the game there's just no place to score well with the X. So if you get the X on your opening draw, it's not a bad idea to exchange it, because the X is just not helping you at the very beginning of the game. But in this case, I could just keep the X and score well, so I didn't need to get rid of it. That's just an obvious play. So far, all of my plays have been pretty obvious. Ninny, Ween, Oxo. All of them really obvious plays. So there's a word palooka, but it doesn't take a U. It's P-A-L-O-O-K-A. For some reason, he's ahead, and I don't know how. Oh, he played a bingo, and I didn't even realize it. For some reason, when he played bestiary, I didn't think that was a bingo. Okay, that's dumb. But we're basically tied. I guess it didn't bother me because I figure I was gonna bingo soon myself. But now we're tied on a pretty close board. The main bingo spot is on row 9. He could try to close that off next turn, but it's not an easy thing to do. Plex is a word, right? That creates a new bingo lane. Yeah, I think that's the move. I am not great at this type of Scrabble where it's just closed board. Interesting. I see Narc. The good thing about Narc is it keeps the bingo lane on row 9 open, and it opens another bingo lane ending in S. It's risky because I'm keeping 3 vowels, but I don't see anything better. I don't think exchanging is right. I was hoping to get at least one consonant there. I feel like this is the Scrabble gods telling me no, that move was wrong. Because now I just have to exchange. I guess the Scrabble gods are trying to tell me I was supposed to exchange there. And yes, if I knew I was going to draw 3 vowels, I would definitely would have exchanged, but this is just annoying. And a little bit tilting. Because if he bingos here, I have to exchange even with him bingoing. Like, no matter what he does here, I have to exchange. There's just no way not to exchange with this rack. There's not, because there's no way to get rid of, like, 4 vowels. And even when with my exchange, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to keep AI or AO. AO looks terrible because AO has negative synergy, but AI is, I'm just scared of drawing another I. And AO at least pairs well with it if I draw a U and there's 3 U's out. I feel like AO is actually better in this pool because there's only 4 O's out. The main risk of AO is actually I don't know. Yeah, I think I still. Do I play auto here? This is too risky, I think. I'm risky drawing too many vowels again, keeping 3 vowels. Auto doesn't really keep enough. If I keep AI, it's either keep AI or keep AO. If I keep AI, I draw another I. That seems even worse than keeping AO and drawing another O. It's also more probable that I draw an I than I draw an O because there's 5 I's out. I'm going to keep AO. So I drew an O, but it's not terrible because I've got bingos. Okay, good. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Toreador. So that's a weird. I'll write that down. Obviously, this isn't ideal because I want to get something to the S. I don't see anything better than Toreador, though. The other thing about Toreador is it opens a triple triple, so maybe I can still think a little bit longer here. Well, I mean, since I know he has a J, maybe Toreador isn't too bad because I know he's not going to triple triple, and it's likely he's not even going to bingo with a J and 2 E's. Very likely he doesn't have a bingo, so I think Toreador is fine. I can just save some time and play it. We're about even. Hopefully he doesn't have anything too terrible that he can play. Did I play a phony in this game? No. That was the last game I played MUL. I'm just wondering how I'm not winning this game. I guess bad draws is the answer. It's not a very satisfying answer. I mean, this has to be right. Like, if I didn't play that, I was probably not going to score anywhere near 41, so... I mean, this leave is terrible, though. Maybe I have some magical play in this rack I'll have to look for. I don't see any magical play. I think this play is just going to be either exchange and score 0 or make some really sad play that cleans up the rack. Like something like Vum. But Vum, I guess Vum plays here. And that scores 20. That's probably better than exchanging. But CILL is just not great, especially with 5 eyes out. What I really want is an A, and there's only one A out left. But an E or an O wouldn't be terrible. I don't want another U. Alright, Vum for 20. See what else is reasonable. Something... I wonder, like... Keeping the V isn't terrible, but there aren't any R's left. So maybe it's not that great to keep the V. So Vum still plays. Oh, Mac is a word, right? That's so dumb. I have to play this. I don't know what Mac means, MAC. I almost worried that it's actually not a word, I'm just imagining it. But I'm pretty sure it's a word in NWL, it's just a stupid word. That saved that rack so hard. Like, we're totally even, but... Oh, God. UVY is not great. Because I keep having to keep my bad letters. Okay, yeah, 34. So he keeps making great plays. Is narky a word? Yeah, actually, narky is a word. This is so dumb. There's just no way that yellow was the right play. I'm sure it wasn't the right play, but I don't know what the right play was. Yell just yeah. I had a feeling, especially after he played the S, that he had the other S. but I felt like I had to play something with narc, but now I'm just lost because I still have that UV combination I can't seem to get rid of. Oh, this is so bad because, like, he lost a turn. I always hate it when I challenge off a phony word and I lose anyway. Potages, is that even a word? I mean, I guess, like, it's not impossible for me to win from here. I feel like potages is a word, but I'm like not 100%. What would potage even be? I guess potage is like potables. It would just be a noun that means the same thing as potable. I guess the only question is potage a Collins? I don't think it is, but maybe my best way to win this game is to try and challenge it. I think I've seen this word before though, potage, but I'm not like 100%. I guess if I let potage go, then I play like love here, and then I hope that I bingo through the S. But if I play love here, is he just going to block the S? Not necessarily, because he could be blocking the B column. I don't want to challenge potages. I feel like it's too desperate. I feel like it's too... And the other thing is I can just play Vug. I guess the question I have to ask myself is, can I even win with a bingo? And how like likely am I to draw a bingo? So if I draw two O's, I get shooting. IF gives shifting. Yeah, I think potage is a word. I'm fairly sure on it. Play this. Yeah, he did block. I don't know. Like, I was like 80-90% sure potages was a word, and I just didn't want to embarrass myself on video losing a turn on a word that I was pretty sure. Challenging a word I was pretty sure was valid. Uh, yeah, now I'm just completely lost. All right, well, I guess we'll have to play a third game. I'm just trying to think of like what could I possibly do to at least bingo, and it's a good like exercise, but like I am not coming up with anything. I need to get rid of the G and the U though. But if I get rid of the G and the U, it's just so likely I'm just gonna get like something that doesn't form a bingo. I'm pretty sure potages was good. I'm not worried. Ignatia. I'm sure this forms some eights, but there's no sevens. Maybe just exchange an I. I mean, so many times I exchange an I get an I. But I guess the good thing about it is that there's only seven I's, so it seems like I don't want another I don't want a U. Ignatia with an A. Yeah. So this is a fishing wreck. So what you want to do with these is you have to think of what you can hit. Fishing one is like the most obvious thing to do because if you fish two, bad things can happen. So I just want to like think here. Like if I have an E, I don't think there's a seven with an E, but there's a lot of probably eights. Maybe I exchange IE because the ing is better. I'm going to exchange IE. ING, when you're leaving ing, the secret is to not keep too many vowels, and especially not to keep an E, because the G doesn't, ing words don't work well with E's. So we're going to try keeping AGINT. See how that works out for us. Okay, this is not Ignatia. Um, yeah, I think this is right because I still have the same leave as I. This is a pretty strong. AGINT is pretty strong. And I have ing words. Oh, God. Okay. This is where it gets annoying. Yeah, if you disagree with my decisions on the first two plays, first of all, you're wrong. But second of all, don't expect me to respond to your thoughts in the comments necessarily because um, unless you're like Josh Sokol or somebody, it's probably just not worth my time explaining to you why you're wrong. So you can feel free to leave your thoughts though. All right, let's keep this leave. I stand by saying AGINT is good. Let's see. Okay, this this is just the tile gods fucking with me. This is what this is. Genitalia. That's a 9-letter word. A genteel is a word, but there's no L. Okay, so I hear what you guys are gonna say. You're gonna say I shouldn't have kept the G, and the reason you guys are saying that is because Josh Sokol says it, and because you guys all revere Josh Sokol so much because he's a beloved figure in the Scrabble community. And use is not a word, so I'll challenge it off. But just because Josh Sokol says something doesn't mean it's true. The G with the N is not terrible, and I didn't want to. The reason I kept AG. I'll look after the game because I shouldn't look during the game, but I'm fairly sure because ing by itself is like an equity of 5 points, which is might not seem like a lot, but that's above average in terms of non-S leaves. So And a lot of that's another thing experts say a lot is that ing is like a fool's leave. And it's not really a fool's leave, it's just you have to understand that when you're keeping ing in your rack, you can't keep an e to go along with it because it screws things up, and you don't want to keep too many vowels. Um, I think probably I kept maybe. I don't want to say I kept too many vowels because I feel like three consonants, two vowels is fine. But it does feel a little bit like I did something wrong, but I don't know exactly what. And even though I challenged off his bingo, I'm not going to be able to prevent him from bingoing again. The best I can hope for is to like X bomb and play a bunch of letters. At this point, I don't want to fish anymore. At the same time, I know I can't draw blank, but I would like the Z or the X. So I'm hoping I can draw like a Z or an X. That's what I'm hoping for. I didn't want to draw that. If I knew I was going to draw that, I would have just fished again. Yeah, I feel like playing long wasn't here. The idea was to draw the Z or the X. Those two U's makes it really difficult to do just about anything. Tac nodes blocked the Z-bomb spot pretty well. As long as he doesn't play another phony, I think he's good to win this game. I set up the S because I'm at the point where I'm desperate. Maybe I shouldn't have been too desperate like I was though, but because now that spot is gonna haunt me. I don't think pungy is a word, right? Pungy? Is pungy a word? Even if it's not a word, he probably gets confused. It's probably a word in Collins if it's not a word in Diffie. Okay, yeah. So he didn't care at all because he had a bingo. Let's see here. Yeah, this guy's actually pretty good. Like he makes stupid mistakes because he gets Collins words confused, like jaw, but and EAUS, and he makes those mistakes consistently. So it's a little annoying playing him because even though he loses turns, he's so good that it doesn't matter for him that he's losing turns. Uh, That probably wasn't the right play, but at this point, my odds of winning are so slim. They're a little bit better now. So do I want to keep the C or the P? In some ways, playing this guy isn't that, like, the best practice for me because he does this so much. Oh, I want to play cow, actually, because there's 3 R's. So does the R go better with the C or does it go better with the P? I want to say it goes better with the P, especially if I draw 2 R's. Then it really goes, because I think there's a good chance I draw 2 R's, and then I'd be a lot better shape keeping the P. So if I play cow here, it's 31. If I play cow here, it's 28. So the reason I want to play it here is if I somehow can't hit a bingo, it just gives me one more spot. To hit a bingo, and the bingo that I do hit scores a lot of points. That said, 8-letter bingos ending in IC aren't that probable. Also, if the thing is, if he just plays ZEN, that would be bad. Or if he plays like zoo, or even just something like Yao. If he plays like Yao, even if I bingo, it's not going to be enough. So maybe cow isn't right. And bingoing to a cow on that spot isn't right. So I'm going to play it down here. Spillite. And that does play with here. So if he manages to play another phony, which I highly doubt. Let's be real. I wonder if splenitic is good. I'm gonna write that one down. Oh, that's a 9-letter word. Never mind. Pen lights. That's not with an I. That's with 2 E's. I think I have to play spill light here. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, we're even, and I drew the X. That's not bad. I have to worry about my time. I want to get rid of the X this turn. Well, actually, maybe I don't need to get rid of it this turn because there's just not... I have the spot at L1. That's not going away. And then I have the spot at L8. So ideally I want to fish for something that starts with ox. So I gotta think of what I could hit. Ox-eyed. Besides ox-eyed, I'm not sure what I would hit there. But he could also play something like ozone there. Yeah, I kind of don't want to just leave it open because he's likely going to play there if I just keep the spot there. So I'm going to play Omega. Yeah, if I didn't play there, he was going to play there, and I didn't feel like playing two tiles made sense. And that, in this previous case, the G wasn't something I wanted to keep on my rack. Okay, so he's playing valid plays. I'm not out of the game. I'm down 32 points. If I have a good X play, that would be great. I don't think I do. I would have had oxide. So I'm not sure, like, I still think my reasoning was right, though. Oh, that doesn't work. Sorry if I sounded too harsh earlier saying that you're wrong. What I don't want is to have the expectation that I'm going to explain to everyone why I do things the way I do every time in the comments section. I don't want it to become an expectation where I'm expected to debate each person on the merits of whatever they're claiming. However, if you are one of the top players, I probably will respond, but I'll probably still tell you you're wrong. The only difference is that I'll probably respond. Um, all right. Uh, the thing is, like, this is a tough spot. Like, even if I was somehow able to keep over in my leave, I don't see how I bingo with over. Maybe ox is the best I can do. I'm getting low on time. I was hoping to draw an O. I didn't want to play X. Now I can play evided. Evided. I keep 2 eyes. And I'm giving him full information. It's still a good candidate because it scores well. Believe sucks. I don't necessarily want to draw the Z because I don't know where it goes. Oh, this is much better. I mean, if I draw the Z and I don't draw like the B and the F with it, or something like that, that might be okay. Maybe I should just play vid here instead. But then why am I even doing that? Maybe vide. That, of course, empties the bag. But instead of 2 E's, IER is actually not bad for what's left in the pool. But if he plays something like frag, or not, he can't play frag, but something like brag, that would not be good. Or bray. And then what am I doing with my Z? I'm not doing anything. If I play evided, no, I can't be right. The eyes are too clunky. Well, maybe I should just do this, because then I'm at least leaving a spot above the ED. Okay. Maybe this works. Yeah, because I just had... I didn't notice this before, but I've... Oh, well, he blocked it, but I had za. So I have Zarf and then Rez. I think that's just game over, so I'll do that. So if he plays bigs, keeps an N, does Rez outrun it? That's a good question. Rez is 24. So I have 407. Biggs scores how much? 16 plus Maltos's is 11. Is that right? Maltos's is 11. Yeah, 11. 16 plus 11. That's 27. So he gets 365 plus 27 is 392. And then he would get 4 for me, 396. So with his N, he'd have to score 11 to tie. So he might try playing QIN. But yeah, I don't think he can get 11 with just the N. So I think I'm okay. Zarf was kind of impulsive. Maybe I should have taken a little bit of my time. I still had 3 minutes. And there's entirely a possibility that when I analyze this, I won't end this game video right away after this game is over because I want to analyze whether there was a better play in that end game than Zarf. Actually, it might be worth analyzing, just quickly analyzing the whole game. I'm sorry if you guys don't like long videos, but that's just what this ended up being. I wonder if YouTube penalizes making extra long videos like this. You can let me know whether YouTube penalizes you for making extra long videos. That would be useful to know. Or I can just ask ChatGPT. Yeah, I think no matter what he does, I just play Rez. That was the idea behind Zarf anyway. I don't think there's any other play that makes any sense than just playing Rez for 24 because it just scores so much. He can block with bag, but that doesn't make any sense. Or he could block with just NA. No, NA doesn't block. He could block with just BA. So if he blocks with BA, then he's threatening to go out with Benz. That might work for him. I would have to block Benz. I could just play or here. Yeah, if he plays BA, well, I mean, he'd be playing Jins, not Bins. But if he plays BNs, threatening to go out with Jins, I can play or, and then where does he go out? Snag. Snag. But snag doesn't work. Alright, I'm going to pause while he's thinking. That's kind of an interesting play, because it obviously doesn't win. Where is he going to go out for anything that scores like more than 10 points? Oh, he's gonna go out with INS. So Maltose. Let me. How much does that score? Maltoses plus INS. So that's 4 for INS. Maltoses is still 11, so that's 15. That would give him 400. If I just play res, that gives me 407. So he'd lose by 3 with his best play. So I just have to check that he doesn't have something that scores more than 15 with NS. I don't think he does. Yeah, I think I win by 3. This wins by 3. I'm just gonna play it. That was my plan all along, was to play res anyway. Okay, let's analyze this, and then I'll end the video. Let's analyze this. Request analysis here. I don't think that's right. I don't think AE is right, because you're keeping an E. That's a problem with the ing leaves. You don't want to keep an E. Actually, yeah, the ag was right. I didn't that. I think I got tilted, and that was why I didn't see ag. I got tilted for my draws. That's something I gotta try to avoid. Ideating was bad. That wasn't a good play. Yeah, punji is a word. I thought I was making shit up. I figured if it wasn't a word, it's probably a word in Collins, and he'd get confused. Cloven 6 more points. I'm not sure that's right though, because of the C in the triple lane. Yeah, actually maybe ox here is better, because I can still draw into oxide. And drawing an eye is pretty, actually, a lot more. It's a lot more than it, probable than it seems. Ooh. Yeah, that was a big miss. All right, yeah. Well, I did good. I played well. I don't need to see what see if it finished. No, it didn't finish yet. But I don't want to spend any more time on this video. Thanks for watching. I'm not trying to deter you guys from disagreeing with me. I'm just saying, if you want to disagree with me, feel free to put it in the comments, but don't expect me to necessarily respond. I'll let you guys talk amongst. If you want to debate each other in the comments, that's fine. YouTube comment section is just not a great place to have debates. Mostly because it's like Google is very censorship oriented. All right, that'll be it for today. If you enjoyed my video, please leave a like, say something supportive in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.